Hey guys, Jericho here, going to be doing some more Halo 1. I had 3 different games of Prisoner, and I just kind of decided to throw them all together instead of spamming my YouTube account.
Yeah, makes sense.
So there's something I kind of want to rant about a little bit, and I've talked to you about this, and I've ranted about this for like weeks now, pretty much ever since the launch. Master Chief Collection, right there, is still broken, kind of. I think you said that happened too.
Yeah, I saw that on my end as well.
That directly goes to my point, though, and there's been a lot of talk about why games are still being broken and what we should be doing and stuff like this. A lot of the blame seems to be shifted over towards pre-ordering games, and I don't exactly agree with this notion. And the reason I don't agree is because let's just hypothetically say that pre-orders don't exist. There's no such thing as pre-orders.
Okay.
They'd still be releasing broken games because they want to release them before the holiday season. Even without pre-orders, you're still maximizing profit by releasing it before Black Friday. So
That is completely true, yes.
So the fact that everyone's getting mad at pre-orders doesn't make any sense to me. And furthermore, I'm really getting sick of this notion that it is somehow the consumer's fault for buying on day one. Now maybe if the game was a bad game, I mean it was finished, properly made, it just ended up being a bad game, yeah, that's my fault. I didn't look at reviews, I didn't really look farther into the game, I bought into the hype, and I bought a bad game, and I have buyer's remorse. But when you buy a game that's not functional on day one, that is not the consumer's fault. And I really hate how we just let publishers get away with it. And then the next logic comes along of, well, then how do we solve it? And people immediately say, well, then just don't buy their games. And this is kind of a cop-out, because let's just be realistic. The video game market is huge. Last year brought in $17 billion. It's not that far behind Hollywood at this point. There are so many people buying that that's never going to happen. And it's not a valid solution to begin with. And really, the only thing you can possibly do to stop this from happening is to put a huge dent in their wallet legally. Why is it that the video game market is able to get away with this? It's the only medium with video games, not even the video game market. You try to do this with hardware, this won't work. If I went out and bought an NVIDIA video card on day one, or say even an Xbox One day one, and it was malfunctioning and didn't work as intended, they would apologize profusely, either reimburse me with a refund or the same product that actually worked. And that's what's expected. If they refuse this, they would have legal issues everywhere. So why is it video games get a pass? The only way it's gonna stop is if something higher up past what you and I can do legally steps in and says, this is messed up, we're going to be taking like millions away from you. They think before doing it again. And there's laws in place to stop them from doing this in other mediums, so why not here?
Yeah, I mean, like, I can sort of understand how people would get the concept that, pre-orders put money in the pockets of game developers before the game is even shipped, so they can be lazy about their product before they ship it. But at the same time, it's the kind of thing where, you know, people can refund their games. They can send it back to GameStop or ask Microsoft for a refund on the digital download or whatever.
Which many have done, by the way.
Yes,
a lot of people have gotten refunds from digital buys of Master Chief Collection.
Of this one, yeah. And I completely agree. It's unacceptable to be releasing games in the state that they're being released. And I don't know, it's just like...
To me, it feels like we're shifting the blame in the complete wrong place.
Yes.
Could you have done something to prevent all the frustration of buying a game that didn't work properly? Probably. But is it acceptable that the game isn't functioning, which is false marketing to begin with? No. That's completely illegal. So why is nothing happening? And when I say something legally needs to be done, I don't mean some, like, being sued for false marketing claim or something like that. That happened to EA. That happened, I'm pretty sure at this point it's happening to Ubisoft. That's not who I meant to actually say, but to them too. But to Microsoft. And nothing really gets done. That's a small class lawsuit. It really doesn't matter. The biggest thing that happened is that EA was... the stockholders were suing EA for what was happening, basically. Which didn't really hold up, because that's a completely different situation. But what I'm saying is that laws need to be in place in each country, basically saying, hey, you can't do this, that's really messed up, it is false marketing, and every time you do this you are going to be fined, say, a certain amount of the profit. Because what's the worst that's going to happen if they keep releasing games early like this? I mean, look at Battlefield's huge mess up. They release it, it's completely broken. They got millions and millions of dollars from selling it. They know this. There's no way they didn't know the game wasn't finished. I mean, the same thing with Master Chief Collection. It's obvious that the game was not in a state that should have been launched. But they released it anyway because it's the holidays. We got to make our money. And then they made millions of dollars and, hey, we got your money. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm sorry. We're going to fix the game a year from now. It'll be fixed eventually. You know, what loss did they have to do? Some bad press, which is really honestly just kind of giving their game another name, getting it more out there too.
Yeah, it's all weird to me. Like, I don't tend to get into the politics of all this stuff. I just think it's really fucked up.
Yeah,
like,
the main point of that is just stop blaming the consumer for what isn't their fault. How dare they be excited about a new game, and how dare they buy it on day one or pre-order? It's just the stupidest logic to me.
Especially with a like a game as promising as the Master Chief Collection. You have all of the Halo titles that encompass the story of the Master Chief and all of their multiplayers. And on day one, it doesn't function.
And you had no reason to really believe it would work this way otherwise, judging off all the other releases of Halo. Every other Halo game pretty much worked on day one. There was a few hiccups, like server-side, when it came to Halo 4, but that was like for the first day and then it was fixed. So
Yes.
there was really no reason to believe that it would continue doing that in any way whatsoever. So, you know, sorry that we trusted a company that up until now had a good track record.
It's weird. It's really weird.
You know, it's actually really starting to hurt the trust between developer and consumer at this point. And people need to start looking at... I don't know why people get emotionally attached to this. They need to start looking at it for what it is. You are buying a product from someone selling you said product. That's all it is. It's a business transaction. It is not some emotional, oh, I love this game, and I love the people that make it. You don't really know the people that make it. I mean, it's... People try to I don't know why, but people try to defend the companies so much. When something is messed up, don't try to defend them for making an obvious, intentional, quote-unquote, mistake.
Companies shift around all the time, too. Like, the same people working at a company 5 years from now are not going to be working at that company anymore, for all you know,
Or at the very least, the company's going to be a hell of a lot bigger, and those same people are going to be still there, but surrounded by a lot of others that you have no idea even showed up.
Yes.
I mean, Tripwire is a very good example. They released an interesting... What do you call it? They released an interesting article basically saying about how much more money it costs to make games now, because, I mean, when they started, they pretty much started as a modding... You know, they were a mod team.
Yeah,
that's how they started. They started with Killing Floor. They said it took like 4 people. With Red Orchestra 2, they started with 11 and ended with like 27 or something like that. And with Killing Floor 2, they're at like around 50. And the price of like what they're spending to make these games is going up drastically. And this was in response to why people, you know, PC gamers were obviously very concerned when they announced that Killing Floor 2 was also going to be on PS4. They were like, well, how is this going to affect the PC version? And they pretty much reiterated, no, the PC version is not going to be affected. We made the game for the PC version. Mods will still be there. Modding tools are very important. They are mandatory. We are going to tone the game down for the PS4. What they said is we were aiming for 1080p 60 FPS, but we cannot guarantee that. So it's nice to see a company that is being flat out honest.
Yes.
Tripwire is one of the few companies that I actually trust, but that's kind of my point. I don't trust companies anymore, and no one really does. Which is really leading back to the whole point of, well, you shouldn't have bought it at day one because they feel that you shouldn't trust it. This is a repeat problem. And usually this statement comes from people that don't care for that series to begin with, so they're not having to deal with the problem. You're an idiot. It's one of those things most of the time.
Of course. People who don't really like know what's going on are the ones who step in and like to have an opinion.
I don't know, the situation is frustrating. There's a lot of games lately that have been doing that. Ubisoft has basically become the new EA. EA, thankfully, I think has been getting better. They seem to be taking their time with Hardline. I don't want to say they're dedicated to fixing Battlefield 4 because it's like, whatever, they already got your money, they don't care.
They already got the money. The fan base is mostly out of its prime at this point. Like,
Yeah.
they can fix it all they want, but it's not going to bring people back.
Yeah, it's not going to give people the memories, the fond memories that Battlefield 2 or Bad Company or even Battlefield 3 did. You know?
Yeah.
And on top of that, Battlefield 4 just kind of felt like Battlefield 3.5 anyway, with too much shit shoved in it that really didn't even need to be there.
Seems to be a kind of a theme with games these days.
You know, I can't even really get mad about it at this point, because if you think about it, games that came out last generation from the previous generation had a big step up hardware-wise. Like, there was a large leap they could have gone, but we're already maxing out this quote-unquote next generation of consoles. Where can you really go? You're still very within the limits of the hardware itself. I don't know where you're gonna bring games to next. I mean,
Yeah.
unless you make games basically for PC only, you're not going to be seeing anything majorly innovative.
It's kind of interesting to think about like where games are going to be 10 years from now. For all we know, we could be playing just VR games. That could be the next big thing. For all we know. But as far as graphics and features, I can't really see where we're going to be going from here.
Well, at least we can see PC still kind of improving with things like Star Citizen. Like,
Yes.
majorly stepping up. And basically saying it's... I mean, they have thrown in PC Master Race to their arguments so many times. Like, they'll just kind of throw it in every once in a while nonchalantly and mention it. And it's like, the people that know what they're talking about feel all, like, nice and warm inside, and everyone else has, like, no idea. Kind of makes me laugh. And it makes me wish more companies were like that, or at the very least more companies were like like Tripwire, where they're taking advantage of next-gen consoles with money-wise anyway, so they can keep making games, but they're still making the best game they can get for PC.
Of course.
Which we can step back and talk about that for a little bit, because I really want Killing Floor 2.
I've never played Killing Floor in my life. I've seen a few of your playthroughs of it, and they look amazing.
What
Killing
is
Floor
wrong
2
with you?
Is beautiful. What?
How can you
Why?
not play Killing Floor?
I don't know. I missed out on a lot of good things in my life.
It's stranger that you've played Red Orchestra 2 and not played Killing Floor. That's very odd.
Well, you know.
For goodness, I'm currently waiting for it anxiously. Killing Floor 2 is... I mean, it looks like... See, it's in this good state where the company is... It's not too big and it's not too small, and they can really focus on what they want to do with the game. And on top of that, they actually have some places to go. Because Killing Floor 1, I mean, that's kind of an evolution of a mod, and almost in a way sort of like a tech demo, where they're experimenting.
Of course.
And now that they have the basis of what works and what doesn't, they can really go all out with it.
And they can build off of that and improve, rather.
So, you know, I'm excited for it, and I have faith in Tripwire. Tripwire is one of the few companies that I actually really enjoy, because I like the products they make. Red Orchestra 2 is amazing.
Oh, yes.
The thing that Tripwire does better than any other company I've seen is gunplay.
Yeah, the little I've played Red Orchestra 2, it feels right, you know? There's, like, bullet velocity, bullet travel time, but it's not overdone like you get in a lot of games. When they try to implement that kind of stuff.
The mechanics are unique and interesting. They genuinely make unique games. What I'm talking about, though, is just the feeling of the guns. They feel like they actually are a weapon. They don't feel like some toy. Which is something I can talk about with, like, as much as people nag on 343, at least the weapons, in my opinion, the sound effects and the way they worked and everything, feel way better than Bungie's weapons. I'm not going to say the gameplay, but at least the way the weapons just feel more polished, like weapons. Because Bungie had weird sound effects.
Absolutely.
Like, they sounded like toys. They really did.
They kind of had sort of a high-pitched kind of sound to them, I suppose. The pistol honestly just sounds like a sped-up version of a regular gunshot. The H1
Halo 1 had good sound effects.
Oh, yeah.
I can't complain about that. They were a little bit compressed because of, you know, the platform was released on, but good lord, they sound strong, but they also kind of fit the damage that the guns do, because everything did way more damage in Halo 1. And really, I just kind of believe that that's why Bungie made the sound effects sound weak, is because the guns really were weak. I mean, that's one way of player feedback that people don't really think of. You have to make the guns sound about as effective as they are.
Absolutely.
And ever since the patch, that has been happening, where I've been dying around corners.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think the new shot registration system is causing that to happen. But at least your shots are landing now
Yeah.
instead of having lies.
Yeah, there's something that I wish more games would do too, is how Halo does kill trades, which is lenient to say the least.
Mhm.
I mean, I've had times where I've killed someone and they've hit the ground, and then I just like had a heart attack, and I was a bit confused as to what happened until I realized, oh, the same person I just killed me. All right, that's weird.
Yeah.
But you know, I'd rather take a kill trade vast majority of the time than just get like screwed over because of latency.
Of course, like you totally see your shot land on a guy, and he's just like, "Oh, whatever, I'm fine." That's always the worst.
I definitely don't like what they did with the grenades and the rockets, though. How it's like, you start to throw a grenade, but then you die, so it just disappears. And a lot of games do this, like Call of Duty with RPGs. Shoot the RPG, and you see the huge smoke cloud, but no, nothing came out because you died.
Yeah, it's a little bit odd. I believe Halo 2 and 3, and actually I think every other Halo game except for one PC handled grenades and rockets that way.
I remember in every Halo game being able to just lob a grenade as I was right about to die, and they would actually go somewhere. But the best I've seen happen in Halo 1 is that, like, ever since the patch, that I heard the grenade throwing animation, and either it just disappears and isn't there, or it just, like, lands where I died.
Yep.
So,
Well,
I don't know, it's strange.
Yeah. Hopefully improvements will come in time. So, I don't know. We'll have to see. There's still some kinks that are being worked out with the game right now.
That's an understatement.
Yes. When I say kinks, I mean huge. Like, wow, this needs fixed.
As in, like, this game really shouldn't have been launched within at least 6 months from when it got launched. Like, my goodness. Anyway, this is a long ranty video, but I guess I had time to rant about it. So there was 3 games on Prisoner. A few of them were better than the other ones, but I wanted to upload something just because I love Halo 1.
I just want to talk about how good Prisoner is.
I love this stage. It can be a little frustrating when you spawn in front of people's pistols a lot, but other than that, it's such a goofy stage. I wish they had Team Action Stack, and I really hope they bring in like 16 people on Prisoner with rockets. Because that is just the most fun thing to do. Anyway, it's been some Halo 1. Hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I'll see you later.